Welcome to Twale TV. Welcome back. Yes, good evening. Well, Frank Lampard and Everton. Why did Frank Lampard pick this job to start with? This is a job with trouble written all over it. Trouble written all over it from head to toe. But he had to take the job. It was a challenging job when he took it. But I've always thought if you are an aspiring manager, you don't pick a wahala job, a troubled job. And that's what happened. He escaped relegation last season. Kudos to him. But the problem was still there all along. So for him to get the sack, I'm not surprised. Everton, on the other hand, I really don't know what is wrong with these clubs. There are some clubs, because of their history, traditionally they believe we are this, we are that. This is who we are, and we have to be known as that. Our style of play, our philosophy. Excuse me, this is 2023. Okay? Forget your philosophy, forget the history, forget the tradition. You have to, first of all, decide what do you want to do. Do you want to challenge the top 4, or you want to be comfortable just being in the top 10 and stay in the Premier League? And I think that's what Everton should have been pursuing, just to sustain themselves, to survive and stay in the Premier League. Because that's what David Moyes did for so many years. He kept them in the top 10. He kept them in the Premier League. They were compact. They were a very solid team. And they were hard to beat. Just like what Graham Potter created at Brighton. So, but since Moshiri came 8 years ago or so, they've had like about a dozen managers. Blimey. And then you have to be asking the question, what is going on? Who is at fault? Is it the owners? Is it the board? I'm not surprised the Everton fans, you can see all these placards they are carrying now. Leave our club. They are trying to tell the stakeholders, the chairman and all the rest of them that, listen, we're not happy with you. So maybe a little bit of fault should go to those people on why is their approach and their whole business strategy has not worked. Because you can't have like about 10 managers. I think they've had about 8, 9 managers in 8 years he's been there. And it's all the same story. All because they were trying to emulate the top 4 clubs. They wanted to be a big boy. You don't just become a big boy. You have to create the room to be a big boy. To start with, Everton started, wanting to paint this picture that we are an attacking team and we have to be attacking. No, you only practice what is possible. That's why Marco Silva failed at Everton. His approach was to attack and entertain. No, you have to survive first. And I think they're making that mistake, and they're still making that mistake. Okay? It was the same mistake West Ham did when Sam Allardyce was their manager. They were looking at relegation in the face. Sam Allardyce came. He was compact. He built a solid team, and they survived. Actually, they were relegated. That was when they brought Sam Allardyce. And he was playing his style of game, compact and everything, and he brought them back. Same season. They only stayed in the championship for a season. And he brought them back to the Premier League, and he created the same team, and he was competing really well in the Premier League. But guess what? The fans started shouting, oh, this is not us. We have our history, our image, our philosophy, our style of play. Especially that phrase, our style of play. All clubs should just dump that in the bin. If you're talking about style of play, you have to have the manager. You have to have the money. The only time they had the manager was when they had Ancelotti. I'm talking about Everton. Ancelotti was there, but Ancelotti cannot do what he's doing at Real Madrid because he didn't have Real Madrid players at Everton. So even Ancelotti was doing his best, but he couldn't compete with the top 4. He didn't get in there. So all this, our style of play madness, they have to stop that, I beg. So I'm not surprised Frank Lampard lost his job, but is he really to blame? Maybe a little bit of blame, because you might say, okay, Frank Lampard is had it really well. A friend was telling me, Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard, they're not good managers. I said, no, it's not about not being good managers. when you are just learning the ropes and you are thrown at the deep end. It can really bite your bum sometimes. And that's what happened to Gerrard and Lampard. At least Lampard won the league in Scotland, in the Scottish Premier League. After 3 years, he got them the league, which Rangers haven't won in 10 or 11 years. So fantastic to Gerrard. So I think both of them need to take a break, really. They need to just chill and enjoy and try to reflect and then get back into management, because they've been given some big chances that most of their colleagues are dreaming of. So they need to recalibrate and refocus and see which job can they do, which club can they go that they can cement their own philosophy and become their own man of the manor, because that's all they need, really. We need English managers. So that's why I'm very cautious about blaming Graham Potter too much about Chelsea's predicament as we speak. I actually believe we should leave Graham Potter in charge, which I believe the owners are doing. It's a Ted Boley and the stakeholders at Chelsea, please. I suspect Chelsea has a very bright future, in the sense that if I look at what Arteta is doing at Arsenal, and then we have Graham Potter, who seems to be a manager that, can be the king of his own castle if given the chance to create his team and build his team. And with these young aspiring talents being brought in now, the only thing that I could see happening for Graham Potter to be really successful is to get rid of the ego players, all the big boys, okay? Like Arteta did at Arsenal, getting rid of Mesut Ozil, Aubameyang. If you're a big boy with an ego, if you can't cooperate with the manager, then the manager has the right to let you go. So if Chelsea can give the same power given to Arteta at Arsenal, if they can give that same power to Graham Potter, I think future is really bright. All these young talents we are recruiting, fantastic players. Modric, look at this guy, Bamiche or whatever the center have. Oh my. We have some good talents, and I can't wait to see them gel together and play under Graham Potter. But it depends on the owners, perception or their thinking on what they really want for the club going forward, and what they believe he would do. Really, to be honest, we've lost the light in the studio. I don't know what is going on, my people. Lights, please. What is wrong, oh? Light suddenly disappears, but you can still see my face, at least, Adi. But all this shaka you see there on the screen is because the light's just gone. But I'll quickly round up. So, yesterday I was talking about Arteta bringing in 2 Premier League winners to Arsenal. And I wanted to say Zinchenko and Jesus. But I said what? Guess what? I said Shevchenko. So one Arsenal fan, sent me a real good banter. Say, no, Shevchenko go, Drogba ni. So I found that really funny. But that's what you get with the podcast sometimes, because you haven't got like a panel of, commentators that if you make a mistake, they'll say, oh, you mean, Zinchenko. So you get that, and when you see it at playback, there's hardly anything you can do. It's too late. So that's that on Zinchenko yesterday. Shevchenko instead of Zinchenko. And then, please, if you are an actor or if you believe you can act, there is a production company making series of short films as we speak. We work with them, but they've asked us to use our medium to say this. If you can act, or if you're an actor, there are a series of films being filmed at the moment. So go to Twali TV Sports, leave your details, phone number, and we'll give you all the remaining details. Okay, that's that for tonight. We're going to go and enjoy Southampton Newcastle, another AFL Cup. Enjoy it, and then we'll catch up tomorrow. Okay? Hasta la vista, my people. Go to Twali TV. I beg, go and subscribe and share the video. That's what we want from you. God bless you. Apologies for the lights. In the last couple of minutes, there's no lights, and that's why the picture is not as bright as it was in the beginning. But that regardless, we love you lots, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Ciao. Good night. Hasta la vista, baby.
It's Wale.